Yeah, so let's welcome our guest, Kiet. What's up, dude?
What up, gang?
How you
Good to see
doing,
you
Hey,
dude?
guys.
good to see you.
Good to see you too. I am calling out of the freestyle hacker house.
Nice.
Have a night.
I guess maybe before we get started, you want to introduce yourself and then kind of tee it up with what you're working on, and we can dive right in.
For sure. So my name is Kiet. I am co-founding something new called Superset that I've been, Obby's been around for kind of the inception of it in a while now. But we just launched it semi-officially this morning, and I've been getting some good feedback on it. But it's a way to run multiple agents on parallel. It's a terminal that lets you kind of create work trees and kind of group your agents in there so they can all work in like a totally parallel clone of your repo. And the goal is to let you do this for like 10 agents at once. Like the goal is like run 100 agents in a day, active development. And yeah, just getting started. Very excited. I've been using Superset basically as my daily driver for the past couple weeks. I'm pretty bullish, but I'm kind of biased.
Yeah. So if it's superset.sh, right? That's the website.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're just looking at the website now, the terminal app for parallel CLI agents. So you got a video there for anyone who wants to see it in action. Can you give us a demo? Can we see a demo?
You can probably see that demo if you want to mute it,
Yeah.
and I can
Yeah. Let's do that.
walk through it.
Hi there, I'm Satya.
So
Yeah.
that's Satya, one of the co-founders, talking about it. But he'll showcase it in a second. So you can pause there. It is um, it is a terminal management tool. So we're building this on Electron with NoPTY and Xterm. And Avi was telling me how that's kind of an ass stack, but that's it is the way it is right now. All in TypeScript. Big. The whole team is big TypeScript developers. So you'll see there's a top bar. That each top bar represents a work tree that you can create. So like he'll create a work tree in a second here, but I'll just give the rest of the tour, which is when you create a work tree, everything you do in there is grouped on the like left hand side tabs there. And each tab is a terminal, and we'll have other types of tabs in there as well. But each of them represent an agent. So my flow, I like to have Codex and Claude Code like running parallel. I might have my like lazy git or like a dev server running. So it's everything terminal for you to run in a work tree.
What's the inspiration behind the idea? Is it something you saw in the market, or
Yeah.
how'd you get here?
So I noticed over the past couple months, my kind of an avid programmer, but my programming and the core day to day of my job has really changed from writing a lot of code to kind of like queuing up a lot of agents and orchestrating them and moving their stuff around. And so I started to run into the kind of like the wall that we all run into of what do you do when your agent is running? Like, do you like go on TikTok, go take a walk, make some food, or do you start another task? And so I started starting other tasks, started playing around with work trees. There was just so much context switching and so much to manage organizationally that there was just no good tooling for it. And so we're building that to solve that problem.
That's sick, dude. There's a lot of competing. I guess like there's a lot of competing products now, or we just actually went through a couple of earlier in the show. Like,
Yeah.
what's I guess like one? Why should people start using, even if they're not using your product? Why should people start doing things in parallel?
I think you used to not be able to do things in parallel is the big one, right? Like it, we are now very recently at a point where the agents are semi-autonomous and can do stuff, and your job is more sitting at the high level and orchestrating these guys. And so if you're just doing that single threaded, you're spending like 90% of your time just waiting for things to happen. And so I think if you want to be really productive now, you kind of got to operate like a VP of engineering or like at a higher and higher level. And so I just think this is the next phase of coding. It's just like you have a bunch of junior engineers. You kind of orchestrate them. You kind of have to executive manage. Is my take.
Are there any like tips that you have for people who are using multiple coding agents? Is there any like ways of the trade?
hmm I mean, I would say you should use Superset, but I also would say that you should experiment with running work trees and try out other tools that do work trees because it's a good mechanism. And like UX for terminal management is the key. Like there's a lot of automation that you would want to set up to creating work trees, tearing them down, spinning up like parallel agents. We're also going to build a way for like you get notified when things are done and you get like a queue of stuff to look at in Superset. Once your agents are done running, you should have some kind of mechanism like that, like set up hooks for your agents, and just like have them kind of report to you and like basically make it so that you don't go crazy switching in between all the tasks. And it's just a lot of organizing.
Yeah. Do you notice that there's like a certain amount that you personally can run at one time where you before your, you know, mental ability starts to break down? Because I think that's the biggest challenge for me is like how many can I run? I suppose it depends on how good the models are, how much you can trust them, how much leash you're willing to give them. But like Abby, I know you kind of mentioned casually like 2 to 3 is like your sweet spot of where you feel like you can run 2 to 3 agents at a time and still keep tabs on what's going on. I know others on the team have said they've tried to do up to 5, right? But maybe it broke down a little bit when they get too many. Is there any like some that you've noticed yourself, Keith, or others that have been playing around with it have noticed like, okay, when it gets beyond this, it's maybe less efficient. Like there's probably a sweet spot of efficiency, right?
Yeah, I for me personally, I can run like 3 on a like a I'm chilling, like 5 if I'm like overclocking. I do know someone who is like legit cracked. Is like MIT guy, like CTO, also was in YC that is running 10 at the same time, and he like I think he has a lot of automation set up to do that, and he actually has a very similar setup to what we built at Superset, but in his own like terminal management tool, like kind of TMUX style like setup. And it's kind of a tooling solve in my opinion. I think you really can run 10 at once, and I think you can run like over 100 a day. And that's the goal of Superset.
I think you can run 1,000,000 if you want.
I think you can run 10 million.
Yeah, because not all this compute has to happen on your computer.
Yeah.
Maybe it happens to happen today, but not in the future. Like this is actually an interesting story for you, Keith. I hung out with a homie at Dogpatch Saloon, which for all y'all who know, we hung out at the Dogpatch Saloon. Mastra people hang out there, or we used to because we moved. But I ended up back there somehow, and I was talking to some people who are engineers, and they have 2 laptops is their concurrency problem. And I just thought that was like, why are you doing that? Like, why don't you just have like a node in GCP and just, SSH there and like just do stuff. But like for them the infrastructure problem is actually not in their wheelhouse, right? They're not that type of engineer or something. So they just bought another MacBook, which I think is the wrong solution, right?
Yeah,
So,
there might be some physical scaling limits to that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got some good questions here. So this is like Warp. We'll talk about that in a second. And then here's a good question from Sebastian. Is your vision more focused on running the agents in parallel live or on focusing 100 or something in parallel and managing them in groups and sessions?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting. It kind of scales. I imagine it scaling like an org, where you just get higher and higher level. Obviously, like you yourself running 10 plus threads is almost impossible. I do see right now my workflow is like I have Codex or I have Cloud Code. Like Codex is doing review, I will like copy and paste it into Cloud Code, implement this, and then bring it over to like cursor compose and tell it to refactor. So do all these things that I feel like it's just like you want to start putting an agent on top of that using like a something like Mastra and have that agent now manage your workflow and that kind of scales down or scale up is my opinion. But again, it's really early. We're trying to solve like the 5 to 10 first, but that's what I'm imagining it going, is adding more orchestration on top.
Yeah, because right now, like a coding agent is like per branch, one agent, let's say, right? You can run codecs and stuff, but the context window is not the same across all these tools. So if you're in the same branch and you're doing your review agent, and then you have to copy and paste it to the executor, and then you have to copy and paste that shit to the next dude, that's whack, you know? So there has to be some shared context within Superset or any of these products that share the context between all the coding agents. Then you can have little swarms and little like pods, right? You can have little like pods of this, and then your slash commands can be like, actually, you're going to hit Claude Code and you're going to do this. And then after, you're going to go take that, put it into Opus, and then make moves, right? Are you planning on context engineering your shit?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's necessary. Yeah. It's very much a tooling problem and a context problem where you want to have something that decides. Like right now, I'm manually kind of managing the context and feeding them between each other, but I don't see why that can't be automated. It is kind of low compute to figure out what to throw one way or another, or low reasoning to do, I think.
Yeah. Or you have like a bunch of conversations that, or like sub threads that every agent has access to and things like that. We'll take a look at it together when we do some context stuff.
Yeah, at the Dog Patch Saloon next week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dog Patch Saloon.
Yeah. I'll be in SF next week, so
Oh,
meet us there.
pretty.
Let's talk about the warp thing real quick, though. And Shane had this question earlier, Shane. If you want to ask like the differentiator question, actually, I'll let you ask the question.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of really interesting products coming out in this. And actually, we had this whole conversation of it's kind of feeling like if you were good at real-time strategy games, you might be good at managing a bunch of agents, because if you're good at StarCraft or whatever, and you're managing all these resources in these different places, managing agents kind of feels like that. You're like bouncing back and forth. You got to keep everything in your head, keep track of where they're at with these different tasks. And if you can do that really well, then you basically like have the right level of micromanagement when needed, but you can give them a leash, and I feel like you can be very productive. But where do you see, like with all these different products that are out there, like how do you think someone wins in this space? Like what are the key differentiation? Is it the UX? Is it the context? Is it a mixture of both? Like what do you think really is going to set Superset apart, but also like who the other ones, like what are the things that are going to help stand out for people that are kind of building in this space?
I think there's not a good answer to this mode question, honestly. Like even in tooling, I think that as far as something like Warp or even Superset, like a terminal tool, there's pretty low switching costs. It is very much like a UX solve right now for us. My take personally is just you just build like the most cracked team and you try to like out execute, and if you don't, then I guess you lose. So that's what I spend my cycles on, at least, just like getting a really good team together. Um, Bit of a non-answer, but I think the other side of it, the mode is that these workflows you are generating some preference and your settings for it. As far as like if we go further down into the orchestration route, you'll start building kind of like how you do your workflow. And I think we're close enough with a lot of our users where we're figuring this out with them and we're building that into the tooling. And so at least in the short term, that's how we think we can win, is just get a lot of engineers that we know are great and have this like exact need that we're solving and Warp is not really paying attention to, and just build the tooling that doesn't exist for that.
Yeah. So a couple questions in the chat. Juan asks, does Superset have native built-in tooling for notifying when the agents are done and require your attention?
Yes. One interesting thing we're doing is kind of overloading when you call Cloud Code or when you call Codex and automatically setting up the agent hooks for you. So one of the hooks is to notify you when it's done or it needs your attention. Some of the other hooks are like, well, each step we can plug in an agent and kind of like summarize and give you a higher level view than what the agent would produce and save you tokens there. There are other stuff like the start hook to kind of like name the branch and have it like really, it makes it so that you can context switch more easily. So yeah, the answer is yes. Like we're working with the native hooks for these agents and stay on top of that.
You guys support Cursor Agent, dude.
Cursor agent doesn't support itself, man. They need to build more hooks into their COI. It will also have like a catch-all to like check the threads and like if it's idle, we'll give you a ping as well and have you set that up.
Yeah. They don't want you to exist, you know.
Yeah, they want to build their own. Yeah, so they don't want to play nice. So Juan also asks, which is a little bit different question. One thing that is becoming expected is a start and review of progress or a task on your phone. What's your opinion of this? And will this be available in Superset?
Yeah, there's a branch out there or a work tree out there to do that in Superset. I think my thing that I'm fighting a little bit with my co-founders on is I don't I don't think you should turn your brain off when you're developing. And I feel like when you're doing stuff on your phone and you're just like, hey, that seems nice, like you're not looking at the code, it's kind of a brain off moment. And I think you still have to think really hard. But yeah, you should be able to kind of ping it and like maybe get summary. I just don't want us to enable like bad engineering practice to happen. That's my resistance against phones. But yeah, like you can set up your like cloud environment and clone work trees. We don't have all of that built out, but we're definitely playing around with it and are aware. I just worry about you actually producing something useful when you're coding on your phone.
Shane and I have a benchmark for coding agents. It's called
Yeah.
bar test. And if we can't prompt at the bar, then it's not that good, dude.
All right. Maybe you're
Here's my take. I think there's like I agree with you that if you want good results, especially today, like you gotta micromanage that agent. You know, like you can't really trust it, even with like 4 or 5. Like I don't believe that you can really like completely let it loose. Like you got to monitor it. You need to be. It should be like a collaborative experience, right? You're not just like handing off a task to a junior engineer. You're actually like working with them to like accomplish it, and you can move faster because you're working with multiple of them at once, right? But I do think there's a subset of tasks that really are fire and forget. It's just like, just bring it back. I don't care about the timing of it. Like it's in my head. It's like there are many things where, and I can give you an example. Like last week, I wanted to add some like product instrumentation for analytics to our website. And sometimes I would just do that myself. I just write the code. Sometimes I would just like open up a linear issue and someone on the team might pick it up, or maybe I'll pick it up later. But I just, now I just go to Cloud Code and just like fire it. And I'll come back later and I'll like turn it into a PR. It'd be really great though if they just did the whole process, because it's a pretty easy thing to do, right? Like I trust, like I'll review the code, but it's like 20 lines of code. Just do it right. I'll review it. I'll know if it's good or not. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even test it. I looked at it, it was like, that's good. I just shipped it. Website didn't break because I knew what it was. Like I knew how to do it. I didn't know exactly where in the files like to do it. I didn't know how we did all the patterns, but I knew what good looked like. So I could just like fire it, go to a meeting, fire and forget, come back later, ship the thing, and it all worked. So I think there's like a different class. Like if it's a hard problem, you absolutely have to be engaged. If it's like an easy thing you would know how to do, but you just don't want to spend time on, maybe there's like you could do that from your phone while you're at a bar, or while you're doing something else.
Yeah, your kid's soccer game, you just want to check on your agent.
So we got a couple other comments.
More questions for you.
Yeah, a lot of very active chat today, which is great. So Dev says, I very badly want Cursor to support sub agents. Juan says, sorry for so many questions. I've been thinking about building something like Superset that would talk to an orchestrator on my laptop that I can interact with agents with from my phone to start tasks whenever I have an idea. So it's kind of like what I was just saying, Juan. Like you think of something, you don't want to write it down for later, just like send it off and get started on it. And then you might pick it up yourself later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No worries about the questions. I mean, they've been really great, Juan. We're open source, so feel free to fork it, PR it, whatever you'd like, or build it yourself and add it. I've heard good things about Omnara. I am worried about the phone thing. But yeah, but I can be open to it. Obviously, we're playing around with it, and it makes sense. I do think it gives you the tool to shoot yourself in the foot. You should refrain from doing so.
And then
some users want to shoot themselves though, and that's okay. That's why we sell guns.
That's why we have. Yeah.
That was a bad joke. I should have made
that was a bad joke.
one.
Hey, this is live. We can't take that joke out.
This is the USA.
Cut it.
Cut the joke. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. I mean, I think it's a really, it's kind of this new paradigm though, and I'm feeling more and more pressure that I should just be having agents writing code for me all the time. It's like I always I think of myself as like I'm a pretty good engineer, but I also think like I'm pretty good at product too, and I have a lot of ideas, and I think a lot of you listening to this probably think the same. Like you have all these ideas you wish you could execute on, but you know you're never going to have the time. Well, now maybe you don't need as much time. You can actually start to execute on some of those ideas, whether you're building like personal software. Like I talked earlier, I built this one shot at a time tracking app, right? That my brother uses now every day with 25 plus employees, or whatever else you could, like personal productivity stuff you want. And so like for me, I feel like I should be running multiple agents all the time. Sometimes I need to be actively involved, like because I need to monitor the results, but sometimes it's just for like personal fun projects. I just want to see what it comes up with. I may never use it, so just like fire it off and let it cook. Spend a bunch of tokens.
So like what? So active development is like a real-time strategy game, and then inactive or dormant development, whatever, is like Roller Coaster Tycoon. You just like set things up and you just chill.
Just let it go. Just let it go. You come in and check on it,
Yeah, you'll probably get better results if you check in more often, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think like you said, Shane, the world is changing. I mean, there's so much you can do. It's such an exciting time to build, and building in agents is just so much fun because I honestly get so much value out of using Superset and using parallel agents, regardless of the tooling. So I'm on a mission to like tell all my friends to do it and watch them struggle and try to build the tooling around it.
Yeah,
I'm a Superset user.
That's right.
Yeah, I've closed 2 PRs today with Superset.
That's sick. That's sick. That's good to hear.
I've also bitched a lot to you, so
yeah.
Well,
you do that regardless, though.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, I'm gonna test it out. I've used like Conductor a little bit. I've used some other tools. I'm gonna give Superset a run because it is. I feel like I just need. It kind of feels like a lightweight solution. Like right now, it's like, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. Something just to help me manage it, so I don't have to manage my own Git work trees, because that seems like what a waste of time. I don't want to do that.
That's a dope feature.
Yeah,
it's very seamless for sure.
Thank you. Yeah. Please do give me any feedback you have. We have worktree setup automation that I need to add the UI for, but it's literally like, I don't know. You'll see like 5 PRs a day because we have 3 engineers working on it, and they're all using Superset, so they're shipping like a lot of PRs all at once. So it's changing a lot.
It's always good when you can use your product to improve your product, which is probably what you're doing, right? It's like
we're going to sneak Mastra into this code base, so we can use it as well.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do stuff.
We need the orchestration agent on top.
There you go.
Everything is open source. We'll see some PRs for me eventually.
That's sick. Yeah. You made a PR into OnLook as well.
Oh yeah, I did. Oh, speaking of, not that, but speaking of, when's your interview? Tell the audience about what you're moving on.
We have a YC interview tomorrow, so I'm just kind of we're launching. We're just executing on the business, but yeah, we're excited to talk to the YC folks. I think my pessimistic take is that we're pretty early, and like honestly, like I'm working on the team. I'm trying to make sure that like we're really working well together. And so regardless of what happens, we're just gonna execute on the business. And any tips, I guess, on the interview?
I thought we bombed our interview, so you should.
We got rejected in our like onlook one, and then we just kind of continued working on it, and then like launched and went viral, and then like heard back from the partner. So it's never over.
Yeah, but you guys are 3 YC founders, previous YC founders, right?
Three previous YC CTOs, yeah.
3 CTOs? Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Y'all are technical as hell.
that's the bet. The bet is the team.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's in this space, you got to be able to move fast. And so having a good team definitely gives you an unfair advantage, right? It's hard to build a good team. So if you already have a good baseline, that's going to help. Robot Glock says, what did I miss? Robot Glock, thanks for joining. Superset. Go check it out at superset.sh if you want to run mini Claude agents or Codex agents from your command line at one time. So you can run parallel agents. And because we'll just share this one more time, go ahead. It's a GitHub star party. Go to
let's do the star party.
superset-sh/superset on GitHub. Give it a star while you're there. Give Mastra a star. We appreciate that. And yeah, let's get these stars bumped up.
Yeah, appreciate it. Hot off the press, launched only a few hours ago. So
yeah, just launched.
Did you launch on HN?
We did. We got buried. I've never been so buried on HN before.
Did you share the direct link, dude?
No, I didn't even. It's just like I posted, and then there were like 10 other posts like in the same minute. It's a launch day.
Yeah.
But we'll launch again. HN is not going anywhere.
Yeah,
true.
Keep launching.
Will do.
All right, Kiet, thanks for coming on. I'm sure we'll hang out soon.
Yeah, hit me up when you're in SF, and Abby will play some tennis or hit up the saloon soon.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for coming.
See you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, see ya.
It's fun. Bye.